Until then, I have been getting a lot of requests for me to circle back to this Rottenmouth Viper weapons build. This was something we played very early into the EOE being released, and then I think a lot of people kind of caught up afterwards. I didn't see anything with this for like months, and then like the last month or so, I've seen other people finally trying this shell. But there's definitely been a lot of changes since that first draft. Now that we found the Claws of Gix explosive package, which wasn't something we had in our very first draft. I'm also main decking a Vexing Bauble, which I think is an important tutor target to have in the metagame at the moment. I also re-outfitted the mana to include Arena of Glory, so you can haste not only your Rottenmouth Viper, but also Imskir is a pretty reasonable card to Arena of Glory. So we're playing 2 in the mana base and a mana base of all Mountains and Urza Sagas. Additionally, I do think the first copy of Phenomena Recorder is kind of mandatory in most of your Affinity Urza Saga decks. I can't really think of any exceptions. Just the minimum of being able to copy your Saga activation, copy your Saga trigger is really good. But also in this deck, the big thing is getting to copy your Rottenmouth Viper trigger, where you get to go attack and then copy the trigger, which is gonna, like, if you've already had one counter, that's gonna be 5 extra blight counters that they have to deal with. The Recorder Rottenmouth Viper thing is really cool. I found myself tutoring it pretty often in testing so far. How do you feel about trying Greater Garganta? Not interested at all. No offense, but just like we are past the phase of trying to find different sacrifice outlets for munitions. This deck is playing Rottenmouth Viper and explosives and Claws of Gix. I'm not interested in like a non-artifact payoff, I think. Sack outlet. I don't know. It's I could be totally off base, but I just feel really good about the explosive Rottenmouth Viper. Updated Rottenmouth weapons. Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay, so we are 1-0 short of the turn 1 Rottenmouth. Yell influencers never getting preview cards again. Oh no, my 3 preview cards. Goose up against Sam combo. People in chat are talking about important context. I may have missed something. I'm still able to see the survey. For some questions, they're referencing Arena and they say Omen Path. My guess is they didn't want to constantly call it Omen Path for whatever reason. I see. Very strong start. I'm really salty that preview cards are not more catered to the content of the people previewing them. Hold on, let me think about explosivesing on 1 here. I think what we should do is just make a Saga token. I mean, I I didn't even get a preview card for MH2. I didn't get a preview card for MH3 until a bunch of people complained about it. It's, I don't know. I don't know how the preview card stuff is handled at all. I don't know who's in charge or how it's processed. Okay, I like seeing that. Didn't I preview Esper Sentinel? No, I had no MH2 preview card. My only preview cards have been Lion Sash, Glimpse, and then in the Double Masters I got Glimpse and I got Thrumming Stone. Then I got Phyrexian Tower and MH3, but I did not have a preview card at first. People complained and I got one. Not that I asked anybody to do that, but it was sweet, I guess. And then I got Phyrexian Tower and MH3, and then I got Market Backwalker. No, we lost playing for the trophy with the humans deck. We got brutally got by Force of Negation on our Mox Amber game 1 against Creativity, and then we bowled the 5 game 2. So, looks like instead of going for the hasty Rottenmouth Viper, I'm pretty incentivized to go for explosives on 2. Mox Opal explosives on 2. So I tap Mox Opal Drum, and then I can go Mire for this. Explosives Memnite. And I can haste the Viper next turn. One thing that I've always, I think, underestimated a little bit playing these brews is how good like explosive is as just a main deck interactive card. Like it's just weirdly the way you win a huge chunk of your games. Did I get Jade Avenger, or was that mean for something else? The Jade Avenger beams, I know it's kind of a deep cut to some extent, but there's not really a lot of layers there or anything. The Jade Avenger was just that I had combed through the set really deeply. I think I'm gonna get the Nihil Spellbomb. I had combed through the set really deeply, and then when I drafted the set for the first time, I saw a card that I had never seen despite studying the set so much, Jade Avenger, because I had just mentally glossed over it a lot. And so I don't know. I just, and it's also like a cool samurai frog, so I became a little enamored with it. But there's not really like an extra layer. Yeah, no, you cannot grab explosives off Saga. So you have to discard a card or sack a non-land permanent here. Could have been okay to haste the Viper, actually. Because then they would have to discard their whole hand or sack. No, we're just dead to the Viserys here if we do that, though. Okay, so we're going to sack 1, 2, 3. Maybe not the drum. Yeah, just the little guys. What did I do wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is Viper bugged? It's not letting me spin this mana. I should be able to sack 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just spend the other mana. Oh, done. Okay, sorry. Don't know what's wrong. Okay, so they're going to discard a card, probably. They might sack the Young Wolf. Yeah, I don't really know why they would, like, how good their 3 cards could be, but I'm just going to crack the Spellbomb main phase. So we don't get Court of Calling, so they can bring back the College and Familiar. They play Dryad Arbor, so they could have Seer plus Court of Calling. I guess that's the 3 cards exactly that they would not want to sack anything. They probably don't have Court of Calling if they haven't Court of Callinged yet. What's crazy is that Fury wouldn't even be this good in the combo meta besides for Sporos. I don't think that's crazy. I think that a lot of people... It's like Fury in the Scam deck was really nuts, where you had like the 8 proactive evoke creatures plus the Scam cards. Like this gave you a lot of redundancy to your game plan that was very powerful. Fury was really good with Beans, which like that was very busted at the time. But like Tiber Rhinos started to cut all the Furies from their deck towards the end. Like Fury was just always a card that was kind of, kind of fine outside of like being very good in Scam and very good in Beans. I don't really ever feel like it was a particularly problematic card. Played fairly. I know there are a lot of players who are very salty that their Merfolk and their Elves, their Humans decks were not very good. Opponent, if you have Court of Calling here, I'm gonna go crazy. If they Court of Calling, this is certainly like the candidate for like the worst slow roll we've ever seen on this channel. But I don't know how they can be thinking this long if they have nothing. Maybe they think they can survive. Maybe they can't. I guess they can survive because they can sack the Foods. But then they have to block all 3 of my creatures, so I don't know how they're winning there. Okay, they don't have it. Listen, I don't know what they're trying to scry to. More power to them, I guess. Not even like Dewdrops Cure or whatever would work. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to bring in the Needles. We're going to bring in the Cage. We're going to bring in the Whipflares. I said this at the time, but it was like the bigger problem for like Elves and Humans and Merfolk than Fury existing. The bigger problem was that your creature deck was worse than like Yawgmoth and Hardened Scales, and and Hammer Time. Like those three creature decks being more powerful than the creature deck you want to play. That's the bigger problem, in my opinion. Then don't think I'd leave Vexing Bauble for Court of Calling. That's the biggest problem for a creature deck, is if there's just a stronger version of your deck in the archetype in the format. All of my cards are so good. Why would I cut any of them? Okay, maybe trim an Imskir. And probably cut the Recorder. We're not going to be searching it for it very often with the Cage. Although copying a Saga, getting like a Cage and a Needle sounds pretty good. We cut a Bauble. Another Bauble? Well, let's keep this hand. Kind of fun that we can go turn 2, make a Saga token, and play Pinnacle Emissary. I think that's the line we should go for. A lot of Samlas have moved to only having Forest Blood Moon landed now. Can do a lot of work in some cases. That's a good point, yeah. I think I'd be a little bit worried about over sideboarding because we've brought in so many cards, but... sorry, I don't know why I tapped that. But that's a good point. Well, let's make some Thopters. I know it was just a couple months ago, but those first few leagues with Pinnacle Emissary, that was so fun. I'll say, as a self-proclaimed negative Magic the Gathering content creator, I think one big problem with Spider-Man 2 is that it's coming off of the back of Edge of Eternity, which is one of the best sets Wizards ever made. It's my personal favorite still. I just have loved the flavor and the art direction and the card design and the general freshness too of like a space set. I just personally really enjoyed, and so certainly was a very tough act to follow. Above average top deck here. Yeah, I liked Final Fantasy generally as a set. I'll say that it was too many legendary creatures still probably. All right, you can keep your Servo token, but overall I think it was fine. Okay, kind of this hand would be much better with out the tap land, so we could go drum into the rest of the hand on turn 2. Still fine though. Star Wars is high fantasy, not sci-fi. I mean, it's definitely a blend of both. A lot of people like to call Star Wars a Western too, which I think is always a little bit of a stretch. I do understand the argument. Keep, I guess. Star Wars a Western? Yeah, I can't remember where I first heard that, but I've heard it a lot, though. Star Wars is a Western. Alright, I think I'm going to play the weapons this turn. My opponent's playing Flagstones, which means they've got White Orchid Phantom in their deck, so we don't want to get our basic. And then... it's definitely greedy to not play... I think I should play one artifact here, just in case they have pending. It's all Dune. Yeah, Dune's really good. Has no one else heard the Star Wars Western thing? I thought that was pretty popular. I think that dialogue tree started when The Mandalorian came out, and a lot of people were like, Star Wars has always been a Western. Oh, Lucas said it. Well, what does he know? Y'all ever seen the clip of George Lucas selling Star Wars to Disney? If you want to see a man's if you want to see the light leave the eyes of a man, that's a pretty good place to do so. Okay, so hopefully we can copy the Rottenmouth trigger next turn with camera. Although I don't know if my opponent's going to not concede. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I may be a negative Magic the Gathering influencer with potentially lead poisoning, but boy, do I like doing this. That's a turn, baby. That's a turn. Discard Prismatic Ending. Spike, I put your name in the survey. Thank you. So I guess that's why they discarded the ending, so they could draw an extra card off the Riddler. Oh, my camera. If their last card's Ephemerate, we got a game. Wow. We got a game. We got a game, baby. That was crazy. So I could go camera, copy the weapons ability. I think I'd like to go... Oh, sorry. I should have left this untapped for the Pride. That was bad. I see the line. What was your line? What was the official stance on my protein powder? Apparently 1 a day is pretty harmless, and then more than that might have... Oh, they don't flicker the Riddler. Wow. More than that might have some negative health effects. So I'm toning down to just 1 a day for now. Gonna eat a lot more eggs in the interim, unless I can figure out a better plan. Not tapping the dude was my line for starters. Okay, well, I agree. I shouldn't have done that. I don't think that was a huge part of it. They also didn't attack with the Pride, but what was your line, though? They target the explosives. That's interesting. I do eat a decent amount of yogurt. Eat meat. I can eat meat. I have health issues. I also like not eating animals. Also, like, the whole like eat meat thing is like, if you're trying to like properly bodybuild, you need to supplement anyways. You like eating 2 pounds of chicken every day is not super reasonable. So they upkeep the Felly, so they draw an extra card off the Riddler. Oh, baby. We could copy this with camera. 1 off lethal. I don't have explosives in play anymore, so I can't get rid of these. Yeah, Satan gives me bad shits. I haven't had it in a long time. It's also usually pretty high calories. So they pending my weapons. Any attacks? We have a gang block on the Riddler. So I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I copy this, I lose 14 life. No problem there. Draw 14 cards. You think this was a coward stream? Oh, miscounted. It's fine. Did I die, though? Sorry, we also get to attack with the Hasty Viper there. Play the zeros first for more munitions. Well, we don't have a weapons in play. I know we can sack any number, but they pinned my weapons. We didn't have one in play. Nor we were 1 mana short of being able to play weapons first and then the Viper. Okay, up again. So I guess we want the Whipflares. That was so cool. Wait, how do I become a negative content creator? Does anybody want to talk about bans or theoretical companion redesign? Wait, no, that's not right either. What did the negative content creators say? I want to join their ranks. Study was using Prop 63 thresholds. I don't know what Prop 65 is or 65 is. I am dumb. You're so bad at this. Rage Beat Spider-Man. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, right. Universe Beyond, bad. Upvote, please. Yeah, does anybody in chat thinks Universe Beyond is bad? LSV said Spider-Man was one of the most unengaged set of his entire streaming career. Spider-Man, I think, was my most unengaged set of Constructed Modern. I think I'm going for the turn 2 Saga token. Yeah, does anybody think it's too many releases? You should call something woke that always goes well. The word woke is lost. I don't know if it ever had any meaning anymore, but it's just... I don't know. It's just so silly. Have I seen a dip in viewers compared to recent UE? Yeah, I have. I don't know how much of it's due to Spider-Man versus Brews being bad versus time of year versus general interest versus everyone is watching Dinos and Guile versus I'm getting married, and so a lot of my viewers know they no longer have a chance with me, and so they're watching someone else. It's probably a factor of a few of these things. Have specific people been called out as negative content creators? I declare myself one. So I guess I want to go grab Claws of Gix. And then we probably want to main phase Claw the Pride. And is that flavorful because they have claws? Is it, I guess I'm not a cat person anyways. We've got 4 cards in their hand, and this engine should be pretty good. We're going to have 5 artifacts, so Imskir costs 3 mana next turn. Yeah, Call the Pride would be good. People acting like this first bad Magic set, blaming Universe Beyond, like Murders or whatever was a bad set too. Yeah, I've always had the stance that there's going to be good Magic sets, there's going to be bad Magic sets, and some of them there's good Universe Beyond, there's bad Universes Beyond. But for me, like I was very negative about the Omen Path stuff. The Omen Path stuff has been... Oh, counting's still hard, huh? The Omen Pass has been like maybe the most annoying thing that I've ever. I don't know. It was a big miss, I think, in general. All right, let's haste Imskir, I think. Although racing Guide of Souls, like, is that even a thing? I kind of need a blocker anyways. So I could play the Viper this turn, but there's not really much reason to, and I can just haste it next turn. Steez, the 53, welcome back. Would anyone have cared about the Lord of the Rings set with no serialized One of One Ring? The cards in that set sucked. I liked those cards in the set. I think it was, you know, it was a little bit weird where it was a straight to modern set, but it was kind of standard power level. But I thought the flavor and I thought Limited was really good. I thought the art design was good. I'm definitely biased because I consulted on it, but I like Lord of the Rings. They evoke a Solitude. Definitely don't mind the extra life here. I'm going to point to Bowmaster. Bowmaster, I think, totally fine. Unless you're talking about cards that don't suck. But honestly, like, when I was consulting the set, the ring didn't, or the ring existed, but it was a 5-mana artifact that was completely unmemorable. I couldn't tell you what it did if I remembered, because that was against the contract I signed, because they might want to reuse the design. But it was so unmemorable that I couldn't tell you if I wanted to. Like, it was just basically 5-mana do nothing. And boy, did it do something after that. So I'm at 11. This Pride is going to be, I guess, I do have the Ornithopter chump block. I draw weapons. All right, Shadowbout Universes Beyond. This has 6 toughness. I think I could do it all. So I can go cast weapons. Although I guess maybe I just don't want to go weapons. Hold on, guys. So I go cast weapons, cast Mox Opal, get a token. I also float a mana and I drum, and I have 6 total. I get to haste the Viper. I get to Whipflare, but I have to sack, and I have to sack 4 things. So I'd sack the weapon, the opal, the drum, and the claws. So that doesn't really seem too worth it, I guess. Doesn't seem too worth it. Doesn't seem too bad either. Let's see, I would sack weapons. Look at weapons, drum, opal, Ornithopter. The problem, sacking the Ornithopter is a really big problem, because then the Guide of Souls is going to kill me in 2 turns. Although it doesn't kill me in 2 turns if I draw an artifact for the Pinnacle Emissary, but maybe I just don't want to bank on that. So, alternative, I don't have to play the weapons. I can just go haste. I can go haste. This is going to be 7 next turn, so I can fetch shot go to 8 pretty comfortably. Then do another Guide of Souls off the top. I guess that would be a problem. I don't have a blue land, but I have the drum and the opal to cast the Emissary. It's like the longest turn I've taken in a while. So do I want to sack 3 things? Or sack 2 things and be dead to a top deck Guide of Souls or a top deck Starfield Shepherd? I think I should just sack 3 things. One off lethal, yeah. Well, I guess they could also sack the guide, but not a bad turn. This deck is a turn machine, I tell you what. Between this version and Narset's Song version, which is better. I don't know that those 2 decks necessarily make a lot of sense to compare to. But I think I would prefer this one. Y'all keeping this? Not that bad. Not that good either. Let's mulligan, I think. Probably keep that 7 over the average 5. Definitely over like almost any 4. The like forced mull to 3 is tough. This would have been a great 7. Keep 3. Any consideration for artifact lands? I really like the Arena of Glories. You can play artifact lands. They really mostly just help with Imskir. I know they trigger manufacturing. We had in our first draft we had Darksteel Citadel, but I definitely like the arenas. All right, I mean we'll play it out. Maybe it's too bad to show them what kind of deck we are. But I do kind of like this draw. Like if I draw Mishra's Bauble into a Viper, we could haste a Viper on turn 3. Was it on my radar when Bloomborough came out? I don't think so. Have there been any games where Snake feels better than Kappa? Yeah. Absolutely. Don't show artifact stuff go to game 2? I don't know. They just can't have non-functional hands. Like, I feel like we're like 5% to win. I don't know that we lose 5% points of equity by going to game 3 this early. Maybe we do. They can't beat a Karn. I don't know. I don't know, maybe just conceding them is bad. Yeah, Tron doesn't sideboard much anyways. Alright, so let's bring in the Moons. Let's bring in the Needle. They're probably playing Portent. I don't think I'm going to play the Bauble, though. I'm going to cut the Nihil Spellbomb. Going to cut in Explosives. And an Ornithopter. Not going to lie, I would much rather face Snake than Kappa. I play mid-range, so probably... Yeah. This is worse against Solitude decks, but it's better against like every combo deck. It kills them really, really fast. It's also, is it better than Kappa Cannoneer? It's like almost, it's always better than when you sack your weapons tokens. You can even sack any number of tokens. A lot of non-functional hands. I think I do have to go to 5 here. Okay, so we're on 5. My opponent is on 6, and they kept. So my 5-card hand could be Emissary, and then I go turn 1 Drum into turn 2 Emissary Bauble, which seems pretty weak. Seems like I should probably put back these two and lean in on this Blood Moon. I've even cast the Red Black Legend. Yeah, last match we cast the Red Black Legend and copied its ability with the camera, and we drew 16 cards. Okay, good there on the Tron hand when we're on the Moon hand here. Just do need to draw a mana source, which we do. We probably cast the Imskir like 6 times this league. They do have a card. Gonna get an island. Did you get an island? Go, drone token, go. So we know they have a card in their hand that we saw off the Mishra's Bauble. That's bad. Could try to play this Pinnacle Emissary to pressure the card, though. That's good. And then this gives me 6 power in play, although if they go land Karn, they can block my Memnite. Not the worst mold to 5. Not the best. Another Talisman. Lately, I've noticed Moon isn't as good versus Tron as used to be by a lot, mostly due to Super K command. Yeah, I agree it's not as good. It also, like, we cast Blood Moon against Titan on turn 2 in our first round, last round, and we lost because they just played Blood Moon. It's just like, it's just so dumb. But Blood Moon's a pretty versatile card too. You get to bring it in against some of the fair decks too. Like, I like to bring in Blood Moon against the Wrath of Skies decks. So we are going to get to kill the Karn. They're in the tank on what card they'd like to get. They have 6 mana despite getting mooned here. They get the Battleship. So they're 2 lands away from destroying me with that. However, the Viper avoids it. So we need to keep a creature back to tap to the drum. So Karn down, they're at 17. I think we might win this one, despite our mulligan to 5. Too bad we can't. I didn't end up playing the weapons first, so we didn't have time. So their hand is Battleship, 2 or 3 mystery cards. Again, and then the Battleship has gone from being really crazy to it just doesn't kill my Viper. Could we consider leaving card alive at 1? I'm open to considering it. I don't really see almost any upside to doing that though. Like we're gonna have to send more, like 4 damage total at it instead of 3. It seems easy to just send the emissary there. Plus we need to cast the Viper, so it, like that by itself is not enough. But I'm assuming you sent that message before we drew the Viper. They discard an Urza's Mine. Then looks like they have a Portent. They have a Devourer of Destiny, which is that makes me sick. I don't know that they're just casting this through the moon. Gross. On turn 5, cast this through the moon. Well, we drew another Viper, which is the best draw by a pretty big amount. You have to sack the Emissary, which stinks. I guess we can attack for 1 first. Which is pretty relevant to get them to a multiple 4. Is Signal past a consideration to Emissary deck? I think it almost never makes the cut, but you could consider it. So if they have the land, I guess they'll play the Battleship, blow up the Blood Moon, and then crew it so they have a 10-10 flying trampler. Their hand is Battleship, 2 mystery cards. Not better to sack Drum over Emissary? I don't think so, because then we can't cast any of our black cards, but I could be convinced, I guess. Like, they also have the Battleship in their hand, which just dies to the ETB, right? Their hand was land, car, and battleship? Wait, did they even have 3 cards in their hand? I thought they only had 2. Okay, then they get a bridge. Well, we're not beating that draw with our any mold of 5, I guess. 2 and 1. I wish Wintermoon was a little better. Yeah, I really thought Wintermoon would be a good modern card. I was really wrong about that. Okay. We keep having the theater's been pretty bad today, and then obviously a little bit good. Last seen 1 days ago on Is It Murktide? Cool. Although, probably not playing that. Oh, you know, I bet this is just prowess. Okay, no. It is Murktide. They're probably playing prowess, but when I thought Goldfish maybe thought it was or I thought Goldfish might have registered Is It Prowess as Is It Murktide since they've been playing Murktide lately. Yeah, we Arena the Glory of the Viper like 3 times or so. Been really liking playing them. I don't think we could really play the 3rd arena. I almost had it last night and I cut it at the last second. Well, if they are prowess and their hand is all 2-mana spells, that's obviously great for us. If they are somehow a control deck, even though they're playing Wooded Foothills and they snare their weapons, we're in some trouble. But if they don't do that, then we can go like Emissary into Explosives, Viper. Or we could maybe wait a turn to haste the Viper and get more tokens. You know, against an opponent who's doing nothing, we don't need to think too much since they're doing nothing. Let's cast the Viper. Well, I've changed my mind again. Because I just actually get to kill them next turn. Like the game is going to end. Because I get to haste the Viper, and I'm also going to get to sacrifice at least 2 extra tokens, 1 from the Emissary and 1 from the Urza Saga target. So it's like, it's more damage and more tokens. And I don't die in anything, so I don't know. Seems right. So we're going to sack at least 6 tokens. But yeah, we don't even get to... The downside is we don't get to cast Rottenmouth Viper, which is my favorite thing to do. So we want the Shadowspear. We went from like our opponent having the like best Tron draw we've ever seen to my opponent having the worst prowess draw we've ever seen in back-to-back games here. What would we like to bring in besides the Shadowspear? I think the one of Vexing Bauble can be fine. It's actually really good to tutor if they just plotted a Slickshot show-off. Not that they should do that often in this matchup. The Whipflares are not great. They're not great. The Dismembers are not great either. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to do this. Can Locket of Yesterday's fit into an Affinity Shell? It's kind of hard to play that card if you're not playing like Stars and Spheres and Rumble. High 50. Well, let's keep this. Looks like a turn 2 Imskir to me. Imskir Iron-Eater. That's me when I'm drinking these plant-based protein shakes, apparently. So this is already 6 artifacts. I think I'll go ahead and play this out. Rewarded. Ideology side, you don't enjoy eating any meat. Eating meat's okay. I have a lot of health issues, or not a lot, but I have some digestion issues that have been so greatly improved from not eating meat compared to cutting all coffee out, all alcohol out, losing 40 pounds, exercising every day, no acid in any food. All of those things were less impactful to my GERD than cutting out meat. So I'm not really very interested in going back anytime soon because it was really a very difficult process. But it is also nice not to eat animals. Coffee is 0 calories if it's black. Yeah. It is also very, very acidic, which is why I cut it out, not because of the calories. So I guess we can go Opal into Emissary. We could play another Imskir, but I think I want to go Emissary into more tokens. And probably want to leave the 3 Thopters back to triple block a Channeler. Although maybe a bit awkward with the dart in the yard. Probably okay. Graveyard's a dart. Any predictions for Houston meta top 8? I predict the Titan will have the best win rate again. I don't think really enough has changed. In fact, the PT metagame was like kind of inhospitable to Titan in general, and it still had the best record of any of the popular decks. I think Prowess will likely also do well. I expect it to be more represented than it was at the PT. I'm not sure by how much, but I think Prowess will be more represented. I think the Belcher will be much less represented, which is kind of interesting. Are they dead to Saga token plus Boots next turn? So let's just say we have -2 drones because of the darts. We have 4, 7, 8, 9, and then this is 4, 5, 6, 7. Really big. Can I possibly die? This is 10. 10 plus 2. Or sorry, 4. 4 plus 2 is 8. Plus another possible 4 is 12. So I can't die. I guess we'll just kill them. What tournament? Yeah, there's the American Modern RC is happening this weekend. I'm not attending because I'm getting married the weekend after. I think there is going to be some coverage. Blue White Control wins. Yeah, I think Broodskale will do well again. I think Broodskale's pretty good. I would love to see some of the Broodskale lists adopting Ice Till. I felt that to be really good. I kind of expect Boros will still do bad, but probably not as bad as it did at the PT. All right, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. This arena is really bad, this handle that we're going to keep. I would think that there would be the most upside in doing something where they stream to both platforms, because like if people are going to watch on one platform, they're just going to watch on the other, or like they'll just watch on the platform of their preference. And that I usually have the attitude that when these companies stream the events, like when Wizards of the Coast streams the PT, the actual ad revenue you get is really negligible compared to the promotion of the event that you get. So I guess we go Arena, play 3 zeros into Emissary, play another 0, then just hardcast Emissary next turn. So like so for SCG, to me it would seem like you would want to stream on both platforms because you just want more advertisement for your event, and more hype for your event, and then it would also seem like there would also be the upside of getting the same amount of ad revenue. So I don't really see much downside. But I could be missing something. I've never been the most business-minded gamer, I guess. All right, prowess again. So we know they have an iteration in their hand, although they've led on the Swifty here, so they can bolt the Emissary. Twitch recently changed its TOS, making it not allowed to advertise other streaming platforms. Huh. I thought that didn't they not so recently also change it to where they were encouraging you to stream on other platforms? I mean, Twitch has never been like very cohesive in their messaging, probably. Yeah, I really like having prowess speed in the metagame. I enjoy playing against it. I enjoy seeing it do well. I'm gonna flashback the dart to keep me off Metalcraft. I mean, I just have a Spellbomb. And there's no way for them to kill anything else here, so we'll take that. Ooh. So unfortunately, I can't taste the Viper. I could have hasted the Viper if I played the Mire. That's okay. I think we might actually get to haste the Viper next turn and copy its ability with the camera for lethal. Didn't they miss like 4 damage doing it that way? Yeah, weird. For what it's worth, the viewer numbers on YouTube stream were consistently higher on Twitch. I mean, that's interesting. That's actually very interesting. Are there any Magic streamers who stream like exclusively on YouTube? So they didn't end up making their other token. 5, 6, 7, putting me down to 9. A bolt puts me down to 3. Newmont? Well, no, Newmont streams on Twitch. I'm talking about someone who only streams on YouTube. I think we should block. Oh, convert, go blue. Okay. I thought that he just uploaded YouTube videos. I didn't even know he even streamed. So they have a Muta and they're targeting this monk, so we might just be dead because we didn't block with the Ornithopter. Blocking with just Ornithopter is kind of interesting too, I guess. I don't think we could have beaten the Muta plus the Violent Urge if that's what they have. Yeah. Wait, they don't have Delirium. Am I dead anyways? Yeah, they just don't have Delirium. I almost conceded. Okay. Now I think that they're dead. So can I? They're super dead if I can haste the Viper and copy the ability. I believe I don't have Shadowspear in my deck, so I go float a mana. Float a mana, get a camera. Then I'm gonna have 5 total mana, and I need to haste the Viper and I need to activate the camera. So to haste the Viper, I can't sec the camera. I can sec 1, 2, 3 things. Am I going to be 1 short then? Seems like I might be 1 short of hasting the Viper and copying the ability with camera. All right, drum is plus. Okay, drum might make it even. So I go play drum for 1. I have 4 total mana. I haste the Viper for 2 mana. I sack these 4. Then I copy. Okay, cool. Seems like that works. I'm pretty sure it's lethal. If not, they have to sack their board, which is, I think, going to be about as good as it's going to get anyways. Seems like we do have to copy the first trigger, which doesn't matter. We'll just make sure we do that. Because we won't be able to use the floating mana to copy the second. So sack 1. Oh, sorry. Let's tap this Mox Opal for mana. Oh, I don't know if I counted the Mox Opal. Maybe I did. Let's sack 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did. I am over tapping actually. I don't need to tap the drum. I think I just didn't count the opal mana for some reason, so I can go sack. I can sack the drum, the opal, the spellbomb. No, I guess I still have to tap the still have to tap the Viper. But I guess this way we can. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Then we are floating a black mana, which we can use to draw a card. We might draw like an Ornithopter or a Memnite. Okay, so we copy this ability. This deck has some crazy turns. Alright, so put a counter on the Rottenmouth Viper. You have to discard a card, lose 4 life, or sack a non-land permanent. They discard the mountain. Now they have to discard... Oh, so they can't discard a card. They have to lose 4 life, or sack a non-land permanent. And then this Rottenmouth Viper is going to force this monk token to get chumped. And so they sack a monk, then they sack a Swift Spear, and then they concede. We actually, I don't think we were dead though. I think that they have punted. Because to me, it looked... No, we had 3 triggers. They were dead. No, they could have... They're not dead. They could have gone sack, Quarry, Steelcutter, lose 4, take block, go to 1, and then top deck a Bolt. So they did have some outs there. To answer the question, is Rottenmouth Viper ever better than Kappa Cannoneer? The answer to that question still seems to be a resounding yes. Last time we played the matchup, I just boarded out the Nihil Spellbomb, and I boarded in the Vexing Bauble, so let's go ahead and do that again. You could leave Mountain and Saga untapped. Did it matter? What about the attack triggers? Yeah, so we have 3 attack triggers, right? Sack, Quarry, Steelcutter, lose 4, go to 1, chump block, and then they could have top decked the Bolt, is what I was saying. Alright, keep this on the draw for sure. So I do think I'm setting up for Viper next turn, or Construct token into Haste Viper, not sure yet. But I think that's just going to mean getting as many tokens this turn. Snake is better than Turtle. It is somewhat situational. I think Viper is almost always better in games where you're trying to race, and Kappa Cannoneer is almost always better in decks with like more grind potential. So it is not just like a 1-to-1, but I do think a lot of people have like looked at this shell and just said, "Oh, Kappa Cannoneer is better than Rottenmouth Viper," but no, there's a lot of upsides. And also, of course, Rottenmouth Viper is much better with weapons. All right, so I think we're just going to go for the Saga token here. Don't think we want to attack. We might want to block, and they might dart one of my blockers. Is Iron-Eater better than Kappa Cannoneer? Iron-Eater is better than Thought Monitor. This is replacing Kappa Cannoneer, and Iron-Eater replaces Thought Monitor. It's not. Those are the 2 cards you compare it to. And yes, it is better than Thought Monitor. Is there a world where Shadow Blast is a valid choice with weapons? I think that weapons makes you just want to play explosives and Claws of Gix. I think that dynamic of this archetype is pretty solved. All right, so we'll tap this drone token for the drum. Yeah, but then you have no Thoughtcast, which is bad. Although, this is kind of in the Thoughtcast spot, although sometimes you can play this with Thoughtcast, so that's not a 1-to-1. So they do have another Lava Dart. This attack means that they are representing mutagenic growth. Oh, they have 2 Lava Darts in the yard. I guess they could be going Dart here, shrink this to 4. I think I'm okay with that happening. Do you reckon Krang will be better than Thought Monitor? Yeah, that's the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles card in Magic the Gathering. I won't be negative about that. I would do it. Listen, on the next survey, y'all better put positive influencer, aspiring Spike. Made me sing the praises of Wizards card design team. And I won't disparage the copyright of Wizards of the Coast either verbally or digitally in any knowing capacity henceforth. Restart. Okay, I'm surveilling. Okay, get boots, float a mana, cast weapons, float 2 mana available, cast drum, neutral, cast Viper, equip, and then I get a weapon sack too. So it seems enough better than the average draw to keep. How often do you usually restart the client? I usually don't ever restart it. The last couple days have been like noticeably worse though. But usually I don't. I go the whole stream without restarting. Okay, so grab boots. Weapon. Drum. Okay, so I'm going to get 3 Rottenmouth triggers here. Sack 1. That's my equip cost. So sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we want to sack the drone because of the lava dart. Make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make sure that I'm not accidentally going to spend this white mana. Now, if I point this at my opponent, they're taking 7 plus 3. 7 plus 3. I guess like they could double dart this token to take 7 plus 2. So let's say they do that. So they're going to take 9. I'm thinking way too long about this. It's just, well, no, I should target them, but they're just so dead. Like they might be able to survive this turn, but they're gonna have to lose their board at part of that cost here. Like they're taking they have to discard or sacrifice 2 more things here. Just seems like they're not gonna be able to come back and kill me. And we didn't want to target a creature because their creatures just survived with the lava dart flashback. My opinion feels worse than Thought Monitor mainly because it doesn't fly trample. I mean, the stats are way. I would. What are the stats again? It's like 4 toughness and power equal to the number of artifacts you control. Like I would rather have like a 10-4 no flying trample that I can equip Shadowspear onto than a 2/2 flyer. My opponent has 1 card in their hand, but they also have 2 lava darts. So I think I'm dead. They have 3 lava darts. I think I'm just dead to the 2 lava darts. So that's 10. 10 plus 6 plus the 5. And they found the bauble. Wow. Huh. You should force them to save the creature. I guess I should have, yeah. I guess I should have made them use the dart there. Can you beat control with this deck? I was beating up on them a lot when I was blood mooning them. I haven't played control against them recently. Against Belcher, you have main deck Vexing Bauble, sideboard 2 needles, plus your aggro plan. Like, Belcher's just not that fast. When you're an aggro deck, it's not the scariest all the time. Okay, game 3 on the play. But yeah, like Krang draws more cards and has a better body than Thought Monitor. I think there's like not that many downsides even. But maybe I'm missing something. Yeah, let's go Surveil and then go crazy. You're saying Krang is at least 1 of affinity. I think it's gonna like more or less replace Thought Monitor. I would almost say it's gonna be. To me, it seems like better than Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor, and Imskir. Speaking of the devil, wait, the demon. The blue cost not bad. No, it's not a problem. I think you discard your hand to draw 4 cards, right? Like 4 cards. I'm paying the extra blue for 2 extra cards, and a better creature. It is 1 more mana too, though. Is this we're good? Yeah. like imagine if this was Thought Monitor, which would be in the affinity builds, right? So I have 5, 6, 7. Like I just get a 2 mana card that draws me 3 and is a 5/5 instead of a 1 mana card that's a 2/2 and draws me 2. It can also draw me 4 if I draw an artifact before I cast this. Is this Meltdown? Huh. Okay, well. Interesting. Imskir bad, actually. It's draw until you have 4 in hand. Okay, that's even better. So I've got 3 artifacts. Now I have 5 artifacts, but I don't have anything to tap to the drum. But then I can cast this. Oh, no, I can't. I'm 1 short, aren't I? Quick cast Thought Monitor. But I think actually any card in our deck lets us cast Imskir besides weapons and Imskir and Rottenmouth Viper. I guess it's kind of a lot. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are we playing out explosives? I guess we could have held it. I was kind of thinking that my opponent might have some counter magic in their deck. I think they might have brought in consigns, but maybe that's just less reasonable than playing around another sweeper here. Very good Unholy Heat. They're at 5 life. They reveal a Swifty. Maybe I should have sacked the drum. I'm feeling kind of bad about that too. Yeah, I think we could have played this one better. Does turn 3 extra turn is viable for competitive level? What card what are you talking about? They still have 3 cards in their hand. Ornithopter Memnite lets me cast Imskir, explosives, or the one of Claws of Gix or lethal. Magistrate Scepter combo. So we played a lot of Magistrate Scepter combo, and I have not felt like Magistrate Scepter is optimal in the Dice Factory builds for a long time. It hasn't been like particularly bad either. Huh. Well, Exact here. But we have trophied leagues with Magistrate Scepter, but I just for the most part I think that like it's not super necessary to win. Like once you get the density of resources, you could usually go off with Paradox Engine, or if you're main decking a card in that spot, you kind of want to play Fleshraker instead. Opened a Nightmare, the old bad Beseiju. I guess not bad. Still played sometimes. Okay, I think I'm gonna call the stream here today. Yesterday we went pretty long, and I also got up at 5 a.m. so I could get my writing done before me and Esther went to pick up our marriage license. So I'm feeling pretty dang sleepy.